Class 7, welcome to your English language class. We will continue with chapter number 12, verbs, voice. You have already learnt the rules, the basic rules of transformation of verbs from active to passive and vice versa. Today we will move on to page number 113, passive construction of ditransitive verbs. Ditransitive verbs have two objects, direct object and indirect object. When such a verb is put into the passive voice, either of the objects can become the subject. So sentences with ditransitive verbs can have two passive forms. Look, a sentence we know will have, when we transform a sentence from active to passive, the sentence in the active voice has the object, subject plus verb plus object. This is the usual construction. Now, what we do is, we take this object and we begin the passive voice sentence with it, making it the subject of that particular sentence. Now here we are talking about certain sentences which have more than two objects. These are called ditransitive verbs which take two objects. One is a direct object, another is an indirect object that we find in these kind of sentences. So for such kind of sentences, we can use any of these, either of these objects to become the subject of the passive sentence. For example, consider a sentence like, my father gifted me a bicycle on my birthday. My father is the subject, gifted is the verb, gifted whom? Me. What? A bicycle. Now if you remember transitive verbs, children, when we had learnt about direct object, indirect object and complements, the question that we ask with what to the verb and the answer that we get in reply is our direct object. So, my father gifted me what? A bicycle. A bicycle becomes our direct object. To whom? My father gifted me. To whom? Me. So, me becomes the indirect object. So, me becomes the indirect object and a bicycle becomes the direct object. Now, in these two objects, what we can do is, we can select any of these two objects and we can begin the passive voice. In that case, we can write, a bicycle was gifted to me by my father on my birthday, or I was gifted a bicycle on my birthday by my father. So we can begin either with the direct object, a bicycle, or we can begin with the indirect object, that is I. Let's consider these examples here on page 114. Active sentence. My father gave me this book. My father, father active subject, gave verb, me indirect object, this book direct object. Now, passive sentence 1, this book was given to me by my father. Passive sentence 2, I was given this book by my father. Did you see, children, how we can begin any of these ditransitive verbs, and we can begin any of these objects of the ditransitive verb and form the passive voice. I hope this is clear. Now moving to passive construction of phrasal verbs. Okay, phrasal verbs, children, as you know, are those particular phrases which cannot be used one without the other. A verb plus a preposition, or a verb plus an adverb. These are the usual constructions of phrasal verbs. Now what do we do with these phrasal verbs when we find them in the active or passive sentences? Prepositions that are part of phrasal verbs remain intact in their respective passive constructions. Remember, whenever we find phrasal verbs in the constructions, be it active or passive, when we are transforming sentences, say, from active to passive, and there is a phrasal verb in the active sentence, remember the phrasal verb will remain intact in the passive sentence also. You cannot omit the adverb or the preposition which is there along with the verb. Only the verbal element in phrasal verbs is affected by the change in voice. So the verb remains the same. There is no change in the preposition or the adverb. For example, active voice. My grandmother looks after me. Here you can see that looks after is a phrasal verb. My grandmother looks after me. Looks is the verb. After here is the preposition used. Looks after is the phrasal verb. Now when we transform this sentence into passive voice, I am looked after by my grandmother. I can't say I am looked by my grandmother. If I omit or drop this after, the sentence goes wrong. So what we get to understand is, in a sentence which contains a phrasal verb, in the passive voice it must be retained and not dropped. In the sentences above, only the verbal element look in the phrasal verb. Look after changes in the passive form. Right, see, look. Third form of look, we are using looked here, V3, but the after remains the same. The preposition after remains unchanged. Okay. Now coming to passive construction of interrogative sentences. The interrogative sentences retain their original grammatical forms in the passive structure. Read these sentences. Look, the original grammatical form remains the same and the tense form also remains the same. In the passive structure, we know that there cannot be any change in the tense form. Interrogative. Did you paint this picture? Did is the auxiliary verb. You is the active subject. Paint is the main verb. This picture is the object. Okay. Now, you painted this picture. See, you is the subject, active subject. Paint is used in the form of painted in the active voice. This picture is the object. This sentence can be transformed into the interrogative by asking, did you paint this picture? Passive voice. This picture was painted by you. Was this picture painted by you? So we find that the active voice and the sentences in the passive voice can be transformed into interrogative sentences by following these particular rules. The passive interrogative sentence in the diagram is formed by following the rule of subject-verb inversion, that is, interchanging the position of the passive subject and the auxiliary verb. The same rule is followed for changing the active sentences into the interrogative sentences. Now, what is important for us is not transformation of active voice to interrogative or passive voice to interrogative. Passive interrogatives and active interrogatives are not important. What is important is transformation of active voice, transformation of sentences in the interrogative from active to passive and vice versa. This is what you will have to learn. You will have to learn thoroughly so as to make these transformations properly. Okay, I hope you have understood till here, children. There are 1 or 2 exercises under these topics. I will urge you to practice these, and I shall send you the answer keys maybe in the next class. Thank you very much, children. Have a nice day and bye-bye.